Friends, family, fans, we are back. Another episode 115. A power blackout for this week's Shriners Children's Open out in Vegas. Shout out my boy T of Sports, who will be there this week. He will be there this week, so go and find him. Have a beer on him. Maybe he sends me the tab, maybe he doesn't, but as I was at the John Deere, and I've got my own feedback coming through here. Beautiful. And we've got that out the way. We're going to crack open a cherry bomb blonde over here to enjoy ourselves on this wonderful Tuesday evening and have a good night. So cheers to all of you for tuning in. It's the Tuesday night, back 9 bets. Drop your questions. I'll answer them. Let's have ourselves an evening. What's up? And always first in the chat. I appreciate you. Let's have ourselves a goodie. All right. As always, the show has been brought to you by rotoballer.com. Use code MANIAC for 10% off. You can get all the stuff you are seeing on the screen from Rotoballer. You can grab it over there. You can get my models. You can get all my Discord pics. You can get all my Showdown stuff. You can get everything. If you get the whole premium package, the platinum side of things, you get Spencer's stuff as well. He's amazing at what he does. It's a very affordable, wonderful, great product to get your hands on if you're looking to get yourself involved in a little bit more analytics, a little bit more seriousness about getting into golf betting, but if not, that's okay. We've got a free show that we do on Monday nights. We do this on Tuesdays. We've got the Fantasy Golf Degenerates going on. There's a lot going on. And speaking of things going on, big announcement, friends. I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to be a goddamn dad. So it's coming soon. December 4th is the expected date of delivery. Papa Maniac. We've got a mini Maniac coming. So we're going to see. We got a fat one. We're about 77th percentile in weight. So taking after its dad. We don't know which gender it's going to be, but it's going to be a heavy one. So we're looking forward to a fun time being a Papa Maniac. Mini Maniac going to be running around. There's going to be all sorts of noises in the background potentially. But hey, got to sign up for rotoballer.com so you can get me to buy a new studio so I can have no babies yelling around in the background. So let's go, baby. Let's dive into it. Thank you all for tuning in. Congrats. Yes. We are excited. Me and Mrs. Maniac. It's been a long road to get you, and we are very excited for our little baby mini Maniac to show up and terrorize us off this planet because we deserve every bit that I gave my parents when I was growing up. So let's get into it. We are looking at a golf course with key stats that, let me get this out of the way so we can see some nice things over here. Key metrics at this venue: TPC Summerlin, par 71, birdie festival, as always. Let's zoom in a touch more so we can make sure that we know exactly what's going on. As you can see on the screen, if you are following along on the audio podcast, I really appreciate too. But we're going to chat about some metrics here that are correlated to this golf course. Before we get into that, correlations for this venue are particularly high, more so than a normal golf course. So course history matters at this venue. We got to make sure that that is the case. We want guys that have played well here in the past because some places just have weird DNA like that. So you want to make sure that guys that have played well here in the past will continue to play well. This Cherry Bomb Blonde is bubbly as heck. So we might take a slow time sipping on those things, but it is delightful. Very tasty beer, by the way. But if we're taking a look at some metrics that correlate to this golf course, off the tee, 2% less than tour average. It's not a crazy situation, but distance is also 3% less than tour average. We see an uptick of 6% above tour average when it comes to accuracy. So you want to keep your ball in the fairway. You want to get your irons on the green. And iron play is very essential because around the green play is even more important. So you're looking for guys to really keep it up, going on approach around the greens. The Bermuda rough can make it real tricky to keep this ball on these bigger greens. Even though they're bigger, it's tricky to get nearby. So if you're trying to attack pin positions, if you're trying to attack flags, you got to make sure that you're staying in the fairway because it's difficult to control your golf ball out of the thick rough and going forward from there. We got to go. So Big Mike back in the building. Let's go, dude. It's been a while since I've seen your wonderful face on the screen. We've got a fancy Davis Thompson this week. Only worry is he could be a little rusty. Hey, Mark, we will get into that. Don't you worry. And Doug, Mike's asking, Grim Reaper. Old Dougie Gim, we'll chat about him too. So we've got some fun names to chat about. I'm ramped back up again. The last 2 weeks, apologies, energy levels were a little low. The President's Cup took it out of me. I'm not going to lie. I went on a wedding the week before that, then flew to Montreal, had a bender with the boys. I was a broken man for the last little while. Needed to recharge the batteries, as you can tell. We're ready to rock and roll, baby. Let's go. So feel free to send in names, particularly a little bit later in the show. Once we get through my bets, then we can kind of deep dive some names that you guys might have an opinion or not on, which I can help you make an opinion about. So to summarize the key metrics, we're looking for accuracy off the tee. We're looking for good around the green play as well. And always approach is king, but it's only 2% more than tour average. So we're going to take that as well. Particularly, we're looking for ranges from 100 to about 175. That kind of sees a big uptick, particularly from 100 to 150. And then we see a little bit more from about 200 plus. But I'm really, really focusing in on these guys from 100 to 150, which is the wedge range. And as you can see at the bottom over here, the scoring average has typically been very low. We're seeing guys shoot 2 under par routinely per round at this venue. On average, we're seeing scores well into the 20s under par. So you want to make sure that your birdie percentages are way the hell up there, because it's a short golf course under 7,100 yards. In fact, it's got even shorter over the years, which is kind of interesting to think about. But at a golf course like this, where driving average on tour is about 295 yards, we're seeing distances over 300, because where they are playing, it's slightly at altitude in Vegas. Also, these fairways, if you hit them, it can just bound on down there. You're making sure that you can really keep these balls in the fairway so they can roll along the hard, firm Vegas fairways. Driving accuracy at this golf course also slightly above tour average. As you can see, as the years have gone on, the driving accuracy is kind of depleted as these golf course superintendents have narrowed the fairways a touch. And we've seen driving distance also increase. So with driving distances increasing, you see driving accuracy decrease. Blah, blah, blah. All nerdy crap. Don't worry about it. Let's go. All right. Let's dive into the model. As always, we are going to be doing a giveaway at half an hour and potentially at an hour if there are enough of you to do so. I'll be doing some sort of a trivia, so keep an eye on the screen, keep an eye on the bean, and let's see where we can get to. Starting off the model, and let's actually flip it by upside. We don't want to do DFS metrics. We want the model metrics, baby. So Taylor Pendrith starts us off, and we are just hot and heavy off the bat with the Taylor Pendrith 25-1 ticket. This man is playing some good golf. 4th in total strokes gained over the last little while. We like that a lot. We also fancy his chances at this golf course. He's finished 47th, 44th in the 2 previous instances of this, but last year we had ourselves a 3rd place finish at TPC Summerlin, the Shriners Children's Open in 2023. So that is good to see. It's also nice to see that he doesn't really have a round where he kind of loses his jazz. You know, he consistently plays good golf round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, which is good to see. You're always looking for guys to kind of really play consistent golf and not have a bad round that kind of gets you out of the mix. He's also been playing some really sharp golf. Finished 5th at the 3M, 22nd at the St. Jude, and was rattling off top 10s prior to that as well. But that is the last 2 tournaments that he's played in the last 10 on the PGA Tour calendar. So hasn't played much, but also did play in Montreal. And when I saw him playing, now Taylor Pendrith's irons are just really interesting to note. I saw them live, and he is 13th in the field in strokes gained approach, which didn't seem accurate when I was watching this guy. I was shocked to see how low and sclaffy his shots came out on the iron side of things. It almost seemed like I was watching like my uncle thin it with a 7-iron every time he hit, but I guess he was puring it and it kept spinning on the greens, and he played quite nicely. So got his first President's Cup point. Congratulations to him. And it was a long haul to get there for him. But anyway, we are looking at some stuff for him. We are also going to be looking at his wedges. And I think he's a pretty darn solid strokes gainer from 100 to 150, 21st in the field, which isn't terrible. The 23rd ranked golfer for a good shot percentages from those ranges. So that's good to see as well. We want those kind of metrics. And as you can see, that's the best range he has. He's actually very, very good out of the rough because he's a very strong golfer. So from 150 and out the rough, he's a lot better. So if you're keeping it in the fairway, he's good with the wedges out of there. He's not the best out of the rough with the wedge, but he's pretty darn solid when it comes to long irons out of the rough. So we like that a lot about TP. He's been putting fantastically over the last little while. Then around the green play is a bit to be desired. But overall, he's the number one ranked golfer in the model. He is popping off in a big, big way. I mean, we're getting a 40% top 20 rates. And as a result, we are actually even going to go lower than that. We're going to go to his top 10 market at plus 275 for a top 10 for Taylor Pendrith. If we're taking a look at that market, he's won us $277 doing all of that over the last little while, which is exactly what we're looking for. So Taylor Pendrith finishing inside the top 10 about 1 in every 4 starts is a 24% track record for that top 10 market. The Vegas odds of plus 275 imply that it's a 27% implied probability. But because he's number one in the model, we've got 9 extra percentage points. We can just ramp up that edge, baby, because seems like a great course fit in great form. Let's see what he can do for us in a field that's pretty top heavy. You know, we've got 3 or 4 pretty solid guys in the top of the market, but the rest of the field, I think he can dispatch of. So we'll see what Taylor Pendrith can do. Finished very nicely in the top 10 market for us. Top 20, top 10. He's been profitable in both instances. We're going to him plus 275 for a top 10, which is kind of hilarious when you're looking at a Tom Kim top 5, which is the same exact number. Now, I understand Tom Kim has played yet twice. He's won it both times, but the market has just completely abolished any opportunity to bet Tom Kim. He's 12-1 to win this tournament. He's plus 280 to finish top 5. That's incredible. You know, he's finished top 5 in only 13% of his starts. Yes, they've been in the big boy events, but at the same time, the last few starts for Tom Kim have been 50th. He missed the cut at the Open Championship, finished 8th at the Olympics, which was nice to see, and then the Scottish, where he's played well, finished 15th as well. So we're kind of jumping around here, but I'm a big fan of Taylor Pendrith for the top 10, plus 275, and we're also going back to him for a top winning outright bet at 25-1. Let's see where we go. I don't know if you guys are in the mood for Taylor Pendrith. Let me know what you think of him being number one in the model, but he's my guy this week. Going to be one of my favorite DFS bets as well. So we're going to go with him there too. Then we're going to scoot on down and find ourselves a Davis, the first of 2 that we might be handling this week. And Davis Thompson for a top 20, second in the model. He is plus 130 to finish inside the top 20. That's a 43% implied probability according to Vegas. If we take a look at what Davis Thompson gets up to in general, it's a 34% of his finishes have been inside the top 20, but he's second in the model. And he's also actually 4th in the model, which we're using. So let me just kind of jump back to this quickly. We use the safety rank in this column P over here for our top 20 bets, for our top 40 bets. This is using top 20 and 40 metrics that are over here to incorporate a power rating, because we want to see which golfer is a safe kind of a profile. You know, there are guys that we can look at, and I'll actually bring him up right away because we want nothing really to do with him this week. Kurt Kitayama. He's 10th in the model because he is a top 40 beast. If we filter on his top 40 markets, he's finishing inside the top 40 at a 71% clip, but he's got 0 top 5s in the last 12 months. So we're trying to identify weaknesses in the books betting structures and taking advantage of these, because what they do is I think they start with the outright number and then they kind of graduate the other odds off of that. So if you've been a historic performer, if you have some good strokes gain, I mean, Kurt Kitayama is 5th in the field in 2024 in strokes gain total, but he hasn't finished inside the top 5. He only finishes inside the top 10% of the time. And by the way, these metrics on the right-hand side include the last 12 months, the last 6 months, and the last 3 months of finishing positions. So you're getting the last 3 months 3 times, the last 6 months twice, and then the previous 6 months of the year are only being incorporated once. So we're kind of really trying to graduate ourselves towards some form, and Kurt Kitayama just isn't providing that upside. So we trying to identify areas in the betting markets to take advantage of this. And Davis Thompson, for a top 20, does it 34% of the time. It's one of his better markets. He's the most profitable in that market outside of his win that we were at the John Deere Classic for. Shout out to my boy DT. Top 20 market, Davis Thompson, plus 130. Let's party. He's doing his jam. Great course history, 10th in the field. We've got finishes of 12th and 35th in his 2 appearances. That's good to see. Finished 12th at the Wyndham. Finished 33rd at the St. Jude. Finished first at the goddamn John Classic. So we like what he's up to. If he can get around the round 2 blemishes that he's seen in the past, the rest of the time he's inside the top 13 in strokes gained for round 1, round 3, and round 4. Baby. Boom, chaka laka, Davis Thompson for a top 20 at plus 130. Let's do it. Matthew McCarty, this is one of these situations where I've had to kind of fiddle around with some stuff. We're not going to be betting him. We're going to be playing him in DFS, though, at $9,100. I feel like I'm always a bit more aggressive. I'm a lot more aggressive in DFS than I am in betting, especially the placement market. I'm a fan of being a passive-aggressive bettor. As you can see here, we are using 45 and 50 events to make decisions on our placement bets for these guys. So we want to make sure that we got a decent track record. We're not looking to kind of make decisions off a whim. And as a result, we're going to leave Matthew McCarty alone. Matt McCarty alone, although he's the winner of the Black Desert Championship. So congrats to him on graduating from the freaking Corn Ferry Tour with 3 wins, then winning on the Black Desert within a few weeks. I mean, what a career beginning. I mean, this dude is going to be a superstar. We could potentially see him rival Ludwig, baby. So watch out, Ludwig Aubert. Matthew McCarty's on the way. Just kidding. Who knows what he's going to do. But he's 3rd in the model for upside. We ramped him back a little bit for some safety because we're not entirely sure how this guy is going to be playing golf. But we've got some really good finishes from this dude. The model is frozen because he is just that ice cold when he is in front and just takes care of business. He did not hang around whatsoever leading this goddamn tournament. He was very, very good. He was in the front, flinched whatsoever. He just locked it out and went and won this thing. So lots to like about Matt McCarty. We'll see what he can do. We are back to the model being cooperative again. And as a result, we'll be back to Tom Kim, who is 4th in the model. So Tommy Kim, as you can see, I mean, he is the dude that's lost us a lot of freaking money over the last little while. We almost had $1,000 loss. His popularity, his spiky type performances don't really lend themselves to a betting profile that can let you grind out profits. He's lost over $5,000, $672 lost in the top 20 market, if you're betting to win $100 every time he plays. He's lost $300 in the top 10 market if you're betting to win $100 every time he plays. As you can see, I mean, his odds are in half of Taylor Pendritt's, and they've got the same top 5 rate. You know, there's guys with better top 20 numbers than he does. I mean, Keith Mitchell, well above Tom Kim's T20 numbers. But the top 5 metrics for Mitchell, not so much there. Tom Kim still kind of hanging around the top 5 a little more than we would imagine. So looking good there. Great course history. Obviously going for the 3-peat, 12-1. Can't bet the numbers, especially with his betting track record. I mean, he's got the same top 5 odds as Taylor Pendritt's top 10. You know, there's no value in that market, especially from a model standpoint. Maybe he shows up from a course history standpoint again. We shall see. We shall see. Then going down to this side of the board, I'm going to actually not. I really want to play Cam Davis inside the top 20 at plus 187. And I think I actually mentioned it on the Rotoballer show last night. So we're going to do it. We're going to go Cam Davis. Let's go Cam Davis plus 187 for a T20. All right. So Cam Davis is one of these guys. If you take a look over here at strokes gained off the tee on shorter courses, he finds himself gaining the 29th strokes in this field. Courses less than 7,200 yards, he keeps it in the fairway. He dials it in. He's solid off the tee. He's top 40 in the market there. great around the greens, which you're going to need this week. The putter shows up. It doesn't. It does its thing. We'll have to see. I'm going to hide this column so we can have a little bit more stuff that actually matters to us. But top 21 in the course history side of things here for Cameron Davis. Finished 7th here in 2023, 37th, 27th, 52nd. So nothing too substantial, but the top 7 finish here last year was enticing. Got the top 20 at the 3M, 26th at the Scottish. Lots to like about him, playing in the bigger boy tournaments as well. Now we get a crappier field. Let's see what Cameron Davis can do for us. So yes, we are rocking and rolling. Was thinking about Michael Thorbjornsen backing. But he pulled out with a knee injury in the second round. So yeah, he's actually not even in the field. I think he WD'd. So he is not in, Jack. He WD'd. I did know that. I noticed that earlier today. So the decision has been made for you. There's no need to even have Michael Thorbjornsen in your bets. You can't bet him. He's not playing the golf tournament. Boom, boom, boom. So Cam Davis, plus 187 for a top 20. Had to follow through on what we said on the Rotoballer PGA show last night, which we are doing right before Monday Night Football at 7 Eastern as well. So lots to like over there. Moving along down the board in the model, 6th ranked golfer for upside is Thomas Hoagie, the craps machete man, whatever that is. Let's have a sip of some Cherry Bomb Blonde let me show you what this. If you haven't seen a Cherry Bomb Blonde can, hide your kids, or at least the boys. Look at this can. This is a delightful situation. So she's sitting on this cherry. It's looking good. So cheers, folks. 20 minutes in. You know what? Before we get to Tom Hoagie, before we get to 30 minutes, let's do some trivia. I am going to pull up people with who, and I mean who, has lost us in this field the most money. And let me type it out so you can have a question here. Who, betting to win $100 per event, who has lost us the most money in the T20 market over the last 12 months, dollar-wise? Not finishing position rate-wise. Who has lost us the most money in the T20 market over the last 12 months? I will DM you or find a way to get you my Rotoballer model, which you're looking on the screen. It's available to Rotoballer subs. Let me know who's lost us the most money in the T20 market this year, the last 12 months. I have it pulled up right now, and I will tell you immediately. I had it pulled up, and then I lost it. All right, we're back. This person has lost $844 betting them top 20 in the last 12 months. And I will tell you now, it is not Eric Cole. It is not Tom Kim. And while we're at it, KJ Parlay saying my wife's uncle has a keg of that at his house at all times. Damn, dude. The guy has some taste. Does he have a jar of Masciano cherries, whatever those are called? Mariano, Rivera cherries. But it is not Tom Kim. It's not Eric Cole, folks. Tom Kim is second. I kind of teased you with him a little bit. But since it's the fall swing, feel free to throw out a second option. Maybe we get a third if we need. But if you are watching, just toss it out there. Even if you are a Rotoballer sub, maybe I can chat to you in the Discord. We can figure out a nice little winning for you there. But Joanne mentioning it is Keith Mitchell. Keith Mitchell, Joanne, is actually one of the better top 20 performances. He's not a good top 10 option. Great top 20. We can get to him shortly. Also, terrible course history at this golf course. But hit me in the comments. Who has lost us the most money in the T20 market over the last 12 months? It's a very popular golfer. He's in the $7,000 range. So those are two very good tips and keys and tricks and hints that you can potentially use to get this guy's name right. I'm not going to give it to you, but he's very popular. It'll make a lot of sense when you hear it too, because he's been playing some bad golf. He's also a dad of a second child now. So shout out to that guy. We'll mention him here shortly, but there we go, Mike. put the beer down, and we got him going. So let's go, baby. Okay, this is, you keep breaking my stuff. So Mike was first, Luke. Mike was first, but I might send it to both of you since it was a very close type situation. And you know what? We've got multiple of you saying, Ricky, I'll give it to you. It's the full swing. We're drinking some nice cherry bomb blondes. Hit me up on X. I know Mike is there. Luke, DFS Jeff. I don't think I've ever seen. Oh, from Ship It Nation, my brother. Welcome. Little cross-platform intermingling here. I appreciate it. I'm assuming if you are part of the Ship It Discord and things like that. By the way, it was so nice to meet Tambo out in Montreal. What a wonderful human he is. So hit me up on X, DM me, tweet at me, whatever. I'll send you the model. Just remind me, please. Just remind me, please, so that I can make sure I get back to you. I do have the ADDs, and sometimes things don't quite go according to plan for me, so I tend to forget. But as you can see, I look at Ricky Fowler. Horrific across the board. In fact, so horrific that we've have to expand this total win column to show us that he's lost over $1,000, $1,577 across all the different markets if you're betting for him to win $100 per event. Disgusting. Disgusting. So, not good. No good there, Bob. Let's get back to our regular paid programming. Appreciate you guys all hanging out there. I appreciate you guys also throwing in the comments for us in a big, big way. Oh, yeah. Some Hulk Hogan beers. Boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang, vodka. Sate. All righty. Let's get back to our Tom Hoagie. Tom Hoagie, baby. So Tom Hoagie for a top 20 at plus 130 is the guy I want to have up on the screen next. There he is. I might just scroll there. There we go. Tom Hoagie. He is, in fact, a delightful bet. And when it comes to Tom Hoagie, look at this. This is our poster child for how we bet these bets. Tom Hoagie finishes inside the top 20 at a 40% clip. He only finishes inside the top 5 about 6% of the time. And I think that was one of the more recent finishes, actually, too. So let's take a quick peek at Tom Hoagie's recent performances. 7th at the Fortinet, 46th at the St. Jude. Really started struggling down the stretch when we were playing in Scotland and the Open and Paris and what, he didn't even make it to Paris. The 3M, he missed the cut. So he was struggling, but then showed some life. He showed some life at the Fortinet. Finished 7th over there. And that was after some rest and relaxation. I mean, the time period between the St. Jude, FedEx St. Jude and the Fortinet was a decent amount of time. Got some rest. We got some relaxation. It was St. Jude, BMW Championship, Tour Championship, 1 or 2 weeks off. Then Fortinet. So Tom Hoagie seems rested, seems rejuvenated, always tends to struggle in round 1 and round 4 compared to round 2 and struggles in round 1 and round 3, does a bit better in round 2 and round 4. But if you're looking to bet Tom Hoagie, look after him in round 2 showdown. Also go after him in the top 20 market because this is where he thrives. He pops off top 20s at a 40% clip, plus 130 is telling us a 43% implied probability. He's 6th in the model. We get a bit of an extra edge over there as well. I love it. You know, we're starting to see Tom come back to us. He's $9,800 in DFS. Won't be going there because, you know, of everyone in the top tier over here, we can filter on I keep hiding him from you guys. But here he is. He's $9,800. Of these dudes, he's only got a 6% top 5 rate. The rest of them are all in double digits. So that's what we're dealing with over there. Someone's just ringing the doorbell. The dogs are going to go nuts. It is what it is. But this is back 9 bets. We don't answer the door for anybody. So that's what's going on with Tom Hoagie. He's a phenomenal iron player. The only market he's been profitable in is the top 20 market. Don't bet him top 10. Don't bet him top 5. Don't even bet him to win this thing. Just bet your money on Tom Hoagie to finish plus 130 inside the top 20 and get that money back, baby. Let's see what he can do. Darbo in the house. Let's go. Boy, I'll be showing up to Sweet Spot DFS after this show. He does a wonderful, wonderful DFS product for you if you're looking to do that. So check out Sweet Spot DFS on YouTube and check him out there. Ricky Fowler. Yes, Mike. Not the best, eh? Not the best. But hey, It is what it is. And then Anthony saying, absolutely Red Bull for me. What the heck are you guys? Oh, you're talking about some Red Bull vodkas. Hey, I'm a fan of some Red Bull vodkas every now and then too. So Tom Hoagie, plus 130 for a top 20, sixth in the model. Love him a lot. Model's frozen again. It is okay. We're going to move on and go to our next guy, who is Seamus Power for a top 20 at plus 150. And I'm also going to toss his name out there for a top winning prospect. Seamus freaking Power, the name of the show, Power Blackout. Let's go. Men in Black is the thumbnail. Seamus Power is our guy. We have always been looking after this dude on the show from Ireland. Let's see what he can do. He's 15th in the model for upside, but 6th in a bit of safety. So, not quite getting inside the top fives. But also when Seamus kind of shows you signs, he doesn't necessarily finish inside the top 5. He finishes like around the top 10 and then just wins a tournament. So we've seen him win the Bermuda, which I believe we can claim is a compish kind of course. A short positional venue, not nearly as windy, but obviously in Bermuda, there's Bermuda rough, so he's comfortable playing out of Bermuda rough, which is good to know. And in his last 4 starts, we've got nothing but top 30s, a 28th at the Wyndham, a 10th at the FedEx St. Jude, big boy tournament, 11th at the Sanderson Farms, and then 11th at the Black Desert Classic, Black Desert Championship last week. So we've rattled off 3 consecutive top 11s in his last 3 starts. We're going to go to win Seamus Power for a top 20 at plus 150. Love what's going on in that market. It is the only market that he's profitable in, basically a Tom Hoagie replica. And I think he can do it. So we're liking that in a big, big way. Look at this. Look at this disproportionality between top 20 numbers and top 10 metrics for him. Now, I know we've bet him to win this tournament as well, but 35-1 was, if there's 33s out there still, go grab one of those. I feel like it's a very fair number for a golfer that's definitely won on the PGA Tour, for a golfer that suits this kind of a golf course. And as we scroll through his numbers, we can take a look. He hits a ton of good drives. He's very accurate, 10th in the field in accuracy. So that's good to see there. He's a very good wedge player. He's top 22 in strokes gained and 19th in proximity, inside 150 to 100. So that's good to see on the wedge side of things there. And then he's damn good. These aren't even POA numbers. These are bent grass greens. So let's change this from POA to bent because, ADD stuff. But we can just hit a quick replace all. And just like that, we've figured it all out. And he putts nicely on these venues, from 5 to 15 feet in particular. It's darn good to see. So we are a fan of what he can do. He's our guy. He plays some solid golf across the board, solid on the par 5s as well, making tons and tons of birdies lately, a lot better than last year. He's been struggling in the 2023 years. Now he's kind of found himself coming back to the party. Mr. Kutcher in 2022 as well. Didn't play last year, but we like him doing his thing. Top 11s in the last 3 starts. Seamus Power, 35-1 to win the tournament, and he's also plus 150 to finish inside the top 20. That's where we will be going with our money for the week. Let's go. Big, nice raw edge there of 10%. We almost got there on its own with just the top 20 percentage. And then he's also 6th in safety. That safety metric coming in with the top 20 and the top 40, which is some very, very nice stuff. So if you're looking for a cash game play, Seamus Power, absolutely a recommendation if I do say so myself. Moving along down the board, let's see where we are. We are just flipping this model upside down as we feel, but we're going to go back to our upside rankings and keep on cruising down. Next for us, Keith Mitchell was a monstrous raw edge to finish inside the top 20, which he does pretty much half the time. But if you take a look at what this man has been up to at this golf course, it's been a complete abomination of results. He just does not know how to handle a golf course like this. So Keith Mitchell, just as a little DFS stay clear kind of thing, at a golf course with course history being quite prominent, we've got 3 consecutive miscuts and a 60th place finish in his 4 starts. And I will confirm that the 2018 event, he also finished outside the cut. So we've had 4 missed cuts and a 60th at this golf course. Something about Vegas just does not click with Killer Keith, despite playing some really good golf leading up to a disastrous 3-putt at the Sanderson Farms to miss out on the playoff. So tough scenes there for Killer Keith. It is what it is. We're going to move along and see what's going on too. Yeah. So Luke's saying we got Seamus Powell was -6 on the last round at the Desert, so that's what we like about him. He's a damn good golfer, and technically that checks out. I mean, look, his round 4 scoring average over the last 12 months is his best metric. So that makes a lot of sense. He just does his thing. So we're going to move along to guys that we actually have bet and see where we want to go there. Ben Griffin, Peter Griffin's younger brother, with DNA from Matt Kuchar somewhere in the mix there too. I'm pretty certain that Ben Griffin and Matt Kuchar shared the same mom/lover at some, let me just not say anything. We got out of control there. But Ben Griffin is related to Matt Kuchar in some capacity, I think, in an alternate universe. He's $8,200. He's 9th in the model, and he's -140 for a top 40. Ben Griffin is a top 40 magnet. He's just like his father, long-lost bastard father. Ben Griffin and Matt Kuchar. They just grind out dollars on this PGA Tour. 58% top 40 rate for old Benny Griffin. That is a 58% rate, and -140 is a 58% implied probability. Now, the fact that he's 14th in our safety rankings model gives him a 26% jump or something along those measures, probably 13% because we don't want to incorporate too much of that in there, but he's 14th in the model, and we like that a lot. So we are going to be going to him in the top 40 market at -140. We got a massive edge, and we're going to be doing it because we like Ben Griffin in the top 40 market. He does it quite routinely. T20, he gets there, he doesn't. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. I love betting bets where we have high probabilities because they happen more often than not. So you really are making sure you're getting your money back on those bets. So Ben Griffin, top 40, -140. He's also been profitable in the top 10 market, despite what we've been saying about his consistencies. The top 20 market is his problem. He has good weeks, he has bad weeks. But hey, that's okay. We're also going to be talking about Ben Griffin at 45-1 to win this golf tournament. Let's go. Ben Griffin, 45-1. He's going to win this damn thing. We've seen some ifs, not what we want. We've seen some solid golf from him. 7th at the Wyndham, 11th at the Black Desert Championship. Made 2 cuts in between there. So 5th at the John Deere Classic. We've got some close calls. We've got some high-end finishes. And they were all at these events where the best players in the field were on their couch. Scotty Scheffler and them aren't in the field when he's been playing good golf. This is one of those weeks. Let's see what Ben Griffin can do. 45-1. Boom chakalaka. Matt Kuchar's your daddy. He's our guy. Plays great golf after round 1. So if you don't want to necessarily maybe get on Ben Griffin early, you can hang tight after round 1, maybe potentially live bet him. That can go horribly wrong if he plays well early, which I hope he does. But if you aren't in the mood and you have a little less budget on your outright card and you're looking to maybe snag a 70-1, an 80-1 on Ben Griffin after round 1, that's the best chance for you to get on him. He is phenomenal on Fridays and Saturdays. So be playing Ben Griffin in Showdown, looking to capitalize him in matchups over Fridays and Saturdays where he's 6th and 8th in strokes gained in this field. Very good stuff there. So a lot to like. Course history-wise, a little tricky, but he's playing some good golf. And his price is a lot better than Keith Mitchell. He's $1,000 cheaper. His odds are better. It's just a better profile. We got value on Ben Griffin in this situation, whereas Keith, we don't quite have that there that we're looking for. So Ben Griffin, -140 for a top 40, looking good in that department. Typically struggles off the tee. It is what it is, but a great iron player, phenomenal iron player. And the short game is very inside the top 35. So we are enjoying some Ben Griffin stuff. We're struggling a little bit on the iron, on the approach off the tee. Off the tee, he's not the best, but the irons are phenomenal. 30th in the field from 100 to 150, and then he kind of dials it the hell in from 200 plus, which we did see a decent chunk of shots coming from that range. So nice to see that from old Benny G. Let's see what he can do with a 45 to 1 outright and a minus 140 top 40 in a nice capacity over there. What's going on, Steve G? Speaking about Benny G, and Steve G shows up. So we had to do the Beetlejuice there to get Steve G popping us with a beer. And you know what? Cheers, my friend. Let's get a nice little relaxing moment here. It's a Tuesday afternoon. It's a Tuesday evening, wherever I might find you. Maybe it's a Wednesday if you're watching the replay. Whatever's going on in your life, I hope it just turns around. I hope that you find out what needs to be rectified and you fix that. I hope that you lean on those around you to get over that hump. I hope that you find a nice, consoling, cold, bubbly cherry bomb blonde, if you're allowed to drink, to kind of just keep the edge off a touch on a Tuesday evening. So I appreciate every one of you for being here. Steve, I appreciate you. Let's go. This is one of my favorite beers. It is so delightful. Can't have too many of them, but it's very good. Okie dokie. So Ben Griffin, out of the way. Let's see who else we have to speak about. And there's not too many. In fact, only one more placement and one more outright. And then we can get into some DFS deep dives. I saw some names mentioned earlier. Feel free to toss them back in the chat again if you're still around. Makes my life easier. I will kind of go back and find them for you guys too. But next up, let's do another outright. And it's going to be DB straight vibing. Daniel Berger. We're going to pull up his metrics. This computer of mine. I might have to throw it out the window at some point. But there's not too many things about Daniel Berger that we really like from a statistical perspective, outside of the fact that he's been playing some really solid golf for a while. And we know how good Daniel Berger was. 16 to 1 to win the Honda Classic when I wrote my very first article for Rotoballer. Breaking 100 had Daniel Berger at 16 to 1. And I vividly remember saying that he was built for golf courses like the Honda Classic. PGA National, water everywhere, tight fairways, short game dependencies. Let's see what he can do. He had a 5-shot lead going into Sunday. My very first article, I was like, this is going to be a walkaway. No. The longest putt Daniel Berger made for the first 15 holes was like 18 inches. So struggles to get it done sometimes, as you can see by the giant gray hole on the right side of the screen there. But this dude has been hitting the best shots from 100 to 150. Good shot percentage. So for those of you that are still tuning in for potentially the first time or two, I do see a few other names in the chat that I don't recognize. A good shot when it comes to strokes gained means that on one single approach shot, you're gaining over half a stroke on approach. So you are making a very good swing from that range. A poor shot is the opposite. So you're losing half a stroke on that one single shot. So obviously they accumulate over time. Daniel Berger over the last 12 months, number one in the field. So he is very, very good with the wedge in his hand. Delightfully good. And in fact, he's just very good on approach in general. 44th in the field. Hit some bad shots, hit some good shots. But I love the good shots in a birdie fest. You need that in a big way. Now, the putting, 101st in the field. Not the best. But Kenny Kim, just done a show with him on Fantasy Golf Degenerates, said Daniel Berger now has finished inside positive values for all 4 strokes gain metrics. Off the tee, on approach, around the green, and putting for the last 2 tournaments now. So we're starting to see his game slightly move along in the right direction again. We were on him last week, and he was +3 on a freaking birdie festival Black Desert Championship golf course after round 1 or something. He was over par, made the cut, finished 31st. So we've got some good stuff. Obviously, he's got his wishy-washy rounds, misses a few cuts here and there. But we're going to go to this dude to finish at the top of the leaderboard this week at 70 to 1. He finished 7th at the Sanderson Farms. He was leading that tournament for 2 rounds. Black Desert Championship, finished 35th. Played you back in 2019, finished 18th. So once he makes the weekend, his game seems to figure it out. Obviously, he's playing better golf, so he's made the weekend. And as a result, we're getting some good output there. So love Daniel Berger's number at 70-1. Love his price in DFS at $7,200. We are going to go to the well for Daniel Berger at 70-1. Let's see what he can do for us. I'm not going to be betting him in any other placement markets. None of that nonsense. He's not been the most reliable golfer, but we like his upside, especially if we can resort back to Daniel Berger of old, where he won around Pebble Beach, another short positional golf course. We like that a lot. So DB straight vibing. Let's see what he can do. Hasn't had a top 5 in a while. He's trending in that direction. So we like Daniel Berger in a big way. Let's dive into our final placement of the show and get JJ Spahn on the screen. JJ Spahn, please walk up to the model. We are going to be looking at you and why we are going to be betting you. You are 11th in our upside rankings, and we still managed to find you a top 10 value, which is not often, So it shows you that he's got some really good top 10 equity from our actual percentage metrics over here on the right-hand side. And JJ Spahn is plus 425 to finish inside the top 10. So how I do my article when I'm betting these things, I'm not going to bet the same amount on JJ Spahn at plus 425 as I am Ben Griffin at minus 140. We're betting to win the same amount. And as a result, so if you're looking to win $10, or let's say 100, you want to bet $140 on Ben Griffin to win your $100 back. And then you want to bet 20-ish, $22 or so on plus 425. Let's call it 25 just for easy math, to get your $100 back from JJ Spahn's top 10. So you're looking, the beauty about betting these high numbers is your investment, your risk tolerance is so much lower. You're only having to bet a quarter of a unit to really get your return of a full unit on a JJ Spahn bet, when you're betting 1.4 units for Ben Griffin to get back your 1 unit. But Ben Griffin finishes inside the top 40 at a 58% clip, while JJ Spahn only finishes inside the top 10 23% of the time. However, at plus 425, it implies he only finishes inside the top 10 at a 19% clip. So we've got a raw edge right away. And even though he's 11th in upside ranking, we are starting to see some return on that metric for us there. And just to get even deeper into the rabbit hole on this JJ Spahn situation, if you're betting him top 10, great. Don't bet him top 20. You got to bet him top 10. The value on a top 10 bet is much, much better. I'm going to pull up his top 20 numbers quickly for you guys, because his T20 rate is 25%. His top 10 rate is 23%. So he's basically finishing inside the top 10 every time he finishes inside the top 20. So you want to make sure you're getting that little extra value off of how he's profiling out. When he's playing poorly, he's finishing outside the top 20. But when he's playing well, it's inside the top 10. So the 3M, he finished 9th. Before that, the John Deere Classic, 23rd. The Wyndham, he finished 3rd. Fortinet, 26th. Black Desert Championship, 25th. See what I'm saying here? So if we pull up JJ's situation, I'm going to find his odds real quick for the top 20 market for JJ, which is plus 180. Oh, and that top 10 has dropped all the way down to plus 375 now on Bet365. So that is quite nice to see if you haven't already got in on that. But that actually takes away our edge quite significantly by 2%. But it's okay. We're going to keep rolling with it because we like him a lot. And if you go to the top 20 market and you do 180, we got a massive decrease in edge over there. So just trying to explain this to you guys, even though he is profitable in the top 20 market over the last year, nice to see that. But what our numbers are telling us is over the long run, you really want to keep targeting his top 10 markets because that's what he does the best. If you feel like going after the top 40, you can. But I think I took a look at that and it's minus 143, which isn't going to work out for us either, because even though he kind of, the safety kind of come, oh, maybe that's where you want to go. If you like some JJ Spahn for a top 40, minus 143 can be your dude. And I will tell you this, though, if you go watch the Fantasy Golf Degenerate show, JJ Spahn's part of a little parlay, of a top 40 parlay, 4-legger to get us 7x return there. So we'll see what he can get up to. So JJ Spahn, we're going to him at a top 10 market metric at plus 375 now, unfortunately. But either way, you know, if you're still a casual bettor, I don't think 1 or 2% is going to matter to you that much. I myself as well don't necessarily care too much about the fact that the price has dropped down, especially in the fall swing. These guys are volatile as heck. But if you're looking to profit over a long period of time, these kind of drops in prices can really impact your returns because you're having to lay that much more. And as a result, if it loses, you've lost that much more money as well, when it only will return the same amount coming back to you. So that's JJ Spahn. That is our top placement markets, our top outrights. That is exactly it. When JJ Spahn is hot, he's hot. Abso-freaking-lutely. Boom, chakalaka. Nice take on Danny Berger. I agree. It's only a matter of time. He's starting to come back. You know, he's healthy. He's gaining confidence. Let's see what he can do for us. All right. Take a little sip and relax over here on Back 9 Bets. Episode 115, brought to you by rotoballer.com. Use code MANIAC for 10% off any of your Rotoballer premium products over there. Link in the description below. All righty. Pop in those names that you want me to deep dive in the chat. We've got Silverman and Highsmith. Let's do Ben Silverman. I didn't have a sip, even though I held it in my hand. All right. Silverman. Ooh, 8th in safety. Like that a lot. $7,400 golfer. Look at that top 40 metrics there. Who asked about Ben Silverman? Anthony O. Absolutely. All right. So we got some nice stuff to see about this guy. Top 40. Maybe we take a peek here. This just shows you how bad I've been at getting all this stuff. Okay, let's look for Silverman here quickly. We might be betting Ben Silverman courtesy of you. We will see. Oh, ho, 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 ho. We betting him, baby. Plus 105. Monstrous edge. Let's go. Huge edge on the top 40 market there. Plus 105. One of the biggest I've seen. Probably the biggest on the model. Let's be honest here. Let's mess around and see how well Anthony knows his stuff. What we've plugged in so far. Boom. Ben Silverman, biggest edge there is. Johnny Vegas, also a top 40 machine, but we're not going to go to him yet. I don't know. It's the fall swing. You know, it's tough to kind of just really get into all of that stuff. So let's get back to Ben Silverman as Anthony asked us to do. Top 20 market, $280 returned. That's delightful to see. He's finishing inside the top 20 at a 35% clip in 34 total events. Now his upside's lacking a touch, but for $7,400, really not a terrible option. If you are going to be betting him top 5 or top 10, do a top 5 instead. It seems like he really shines when he wants to do that. And if we take a look at what he's been up to the last little while, we finished top 20 at the John Deere Classic and 4th at the 40net. Hasn't played since. Ben Silverman, Anthony, is a great option tonight. And when we make people pink, we are betting them and playing them in DFS, which is exactly what we're doing. Ben Silverman also might be a great bet for a first-round leader. Anthony's just going to, Anthony, you're going to get half, my man. If this cashes. If not, you owe me all. You owe me all of it. We're going to pull up the first-round leader situation here. By the way, Bo Hassler is going to be also a first-round leader for us at 50-1. You can find that at FanDuel. You can find that at BetRivers and Caesars. If we're looking for Ben Silverman's name, we've got to hit find more, which is always good to see. We see a Ben Griffin before that. Ben Silverman is 75-1 to finish inside the first place on the leaderboard for first round leader. So absolutely. I mean, we got to do it. We got to do it. 75-1, Ben Silverman. Let's do a banner here so that people watching in the background, B Silverman. We need to do two. Silverman, FRL plus 7,500, and T40 at plus 105, courtesy of Anthony O, who is, he knows his stuff. So we're liking what Ben Silverman's up to. Does some good work for us in those markets. What does he do from a statistical standpoint? Not a lot outside of putting. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Very good putter, which, what's he like on bends? That'll be interesting. Ooh, last 36 rounds on bent grass. Very nice. Third in the field. So we like to see that. Very good at avoiding poor shots out of the rough from 150 and out. Very good from 150 to 200 in his irons over there. Hits a ton of greens in regulation from that distance. Now, the options over here, the wedges are a bit of a problem. So I like the top 40 aspect. I like the first round leader as well, because that's where the putter can really shine. The putter tends to show up in round 4 when things get nervy. You don't typically putt the best. The first thing to go is the short muscles. That's why they often tell you you want to utilize your big muscles when you're putting, because when you're nervous, you can rely on rocking the shoulders versus using your hands. The bigger your muscles, the less they are affected by nerves. And as a result, a good putter in round 4 typically struggles unless you're way down the leaderboard and chasing up the pack. But when you play as well as he does in round 1 and round 3, you're going to find yourself in the mix. And sometimes good putters can really struggle under pressure, unless your name's Cam Smith. Then you shine. So we like Ben Silverman for a top 40. We like him to finish first round leader at 75-1. Let's go. Nice take there, Steve Anthony O. Absolutely. Okay. Back to Joe Highsmith. Let's pull up his situation and see what he has done for us in the last little while. So I love these. These are both Corn Ferry Tour grads, by the way, I believe, which I will be bringing out the Corn Ferry 40 once the DP World Tour is wrapped up. They bring the top 10 from there onto the PGA Tour. I will be deep diving each one of those 10 guys, as well as the top 30 from the KFT graduates who will be showing up onto the PGA Tour for the 2025 season. I do a massive deep dive article where I kind of look at all these guys around the green, off the tee, round by round performances, easy, medium, hard, golf course scoring, all that jazz. I've got it for you so that you can hit the start of 2025 with knowing who these new dudes are before the rest of the PGA world figures them out. Let's get back to Joe Highsmith and see what he's been up to. Not necessarily the same grading from a model ranking perspective as our guy from Silverman, but still some very good performances in the last 3 tournaments, with a 6th at the Black Desert and a 13th at the 40net. Very nice to see there. Really thrives on Saturdays. Like to see that a lot. Seems to struggle and start off slow a little bit. That's going to affect your upside. What does he do very well? Well, he's pretty darn solid on comp courses, which are, what the heck did I even have in there for comp courses? I don't even remember. Let's go find you quickly. Comp courses were TPC Craig Ranch, Silverado Resort, and La Quinta Country Club. Not too many others. Probably Pebble Beach we could have put in there as well. PGA National as well if we felt like it. But, we are doing our thing. Ernie's laying underneath me. We are all a happy family over here. So the ball striking's been actually really solid for him. He just seems to, not quite get it there with the short game, which ranks 97th in a field of 128 or so people. So tough scenes in that department. But we can see what Joe Highsmith gets up to from a DFS perspective, maybe play him a bit more, but I'm a bigger fan of Ben Silverman than I am Joe Highsmith. Let's go. All right, so our main man, Mike, wants some kimchi, if you will. Hey, so I can immediately tell you, Doug Gim is a cash game guy. He's a cash game guy. He doesn't finish inside the high upside metrics as much as we like, despite how well he grades out. I mean, look at these irons from 150 to 200. He's the second best in strokes gained. Delightful stuff. Very, very solid off the tee. 25th in accuracy. Love to see that. Middle of the pack in distance. Approach play in 2024 has been 4th in this field. So he can absolutely send it. 5th in the field in ball striking. And then just to kind of put a cherry on top here, let's go like this and go largest to smallest to see exactly 180. A terrible putter. Terrible, terrible putter is old Gimchi. So we're really looking for old Dougie Gim to kind of get the ball striking working out. And I will pull it up for you right now and show you that the top 10, top 5 market with a putter like that is not going to necessarily show up all that much. Now, top 40 market, that's a different ball game. 40% of the time he's finishing inside the top 40, making 60% of his cuts. I'm assuming that's one of the higher cut made percentages because of the ball striking. 44th in safety because of the top 20 and top 40 markets. So we like that a lot. Just from a DFS perspective, I'm not entirely sure I will go there. If we want to bet him top 40, we can find a Gimchi. Let's see what his metrics are. Dougie Gim, minus 115. So that's not necessarily going to get us all the way there, and I don't think it's going to put out NEP. So no dice on Doug. Mike, not yet. TPC Sawgrass, yes. That's his space. That's where he does his thing. What's he been up to lately? Not finishing inside the top 20. Not a single finish inside the top 20, but all of his finishes except for one are inside the top 50. You are just getting a middling golfer. If you want a solid option for a cash game, Doug Gim is your guy at $7,300. He's going to make the cut most likely. He's not going to do anything else. That I can assure you. Top 20 is likely not on the cards for Gimchi. So you might want to send the Gimchi back if they send you top 20 pricing on that. But if you're looking for a nice, safe cash game play at $7,300, I think that's your area you want to be targeting him in. Potentially also on round 1, first round leader stuff, if you're in the mood for that. He just doesn't seem to like golfing on a Saturday. Easily his worst round of the 4. So ranking 84th in that department when everything else is inside the top 22. So yeah, old Gimchi, quite the interesting concoction of ingredients there when it comes to his output. Okie dokie, Smoky. So yeah, top 20s, he's actually been profitable because we get some really big numbers, but when it's only happening 14% of the time, it's difficult to get there. All right, some Fishburn. Got some people asking about some Fishburn. When Spawn's hot, we've got Spawn. Okay. Shipley. I don't even know if I have Shipley loaded, to be honest with you. When did they I think they Monday queued. Yeah, he's not even in the field. So we're going to have to pull him up from Data Golf quickly to see what's going on. I will update that for tonight's model release. But wow, he's been playing some solid golf in other parts of the world. Let's get Shipley over here from Stevie G. So we got T13, T23, third, second on the what is this? The PGA Tour Americas. Not even on the Corn Ferry. PGA Tour Americas. Almost won a tournament there. Second and third, and then finished 23rd at the 40net Cup of the PGA Tour Americas. And then finished 13th at the Pro Call, gained across the board. Absolutely. He is also just the guy. He's the guy you're looking for in this department. So what is his price? Okay, I'm not going to add this out of here because we don't need any usernames being shown up on the screen. But hit me up with what Neil Shipley. I love him. I'm assuming he's like $7,000 or something. Absolutely. Full send on Ship Nation. Ship It Nation on the Shipley there. DFS Jeff. Yeah. All right. So before we get to you, we got to do Christopher Grape. What's up, my brother? Good to see you in the chat. KH Lee has some decent finishes. Yeah, let's take a look. TPC Summerlin. So has had some good finishes, but also recently not so hot. I guess, actually, sporadic. Nothing better than the 9th at the 3M. Good finish there. What was that? That's what's the name of that place that they play at? TPC, is it River Highlands? No, I can't remember. What's the name of the 3M? 3M golf course. Is it a TPC venue? Let's take a look. What is the name of this place? TPC Twin Cities, exactly. So, boom. Like the KH Lee situation is still very much an anomaly of the world that we live in. So Sanderson Farms was also a great performance by him. So we like to see what TPC Lee gets his stuff up to. I'm a big fan. I think, what did you say? He's got some good finishes here as well. Yeah, recently we got a 7th, a 37th, and a 14th. So $6,900 with some flash in the pans in the last little while. Absolutely, Grapes. Chris Draper, my man, we are going back to the well there. Let's highlight him in yellow so we know we're going to play him in some DFS. We're not going to even dive into his stats. We just know he just does his thing. So I like KH Lee in a big way. Absolutely. Excuse me. Time for another sip of this wonderful woman on this can over here. Okay. Let's do Fowler. But he was the winner of our giveaway, which, by the way, let's do that. Before we get out of here, I'll do one more giveaway. Let's think of a question. I'm going to go with who has the best top 20. No, let's do the worst. Who's lost the most money? We're just going to do bad guys. You know what? Who's won the most money? Who did we do? Ricky Fowler earlier. So who's won the most money in the top 10 market this week? I'm going to go back to that banner and I'm just going to edit it. Who has won us the most money in the let's just do T20 market. I just said top 10. So let's do top 10. Okay. Score. Who has won us the most money in the T10 market over the last 12 months? If you get it in here, I will send you the model right away after the show, because this is what we do on Back 9 Bets. So I'm pulling it up right now. And the name for the top 10 market, we've mentioned him already. So who has won us the most money in the top 10 market over the last 12 months, betting to win $100 every time they play? We've mentioned his name in the betting market. I will give you that. He is a good golfer. Steve G, I love it. I think you're always the guy that suggests names that aren't in the field. And I wonder what Ludwig's situation would actually be. But it's not Ludwig Aberg. He isn't in the field this week. It is not Tom Kim. Because, Chris, you got you a little late. We were chatting about Tom Kim, and he is very bad at profitability. DFS Jeff, we were chatting about it as well. Tom Hoagie, the only market he's profitable in is the top 20 market. He's lost money in all the others. So not Aberg, not Tom Kim, not Tom Hoagie. It is someone playing this week. I probably should stipulate that. My bad. It's as always, it is someone playing this week. Apologies. I'm pulling up the model. So the model is going to only have people that are playing this week. I should not make fun of people for asking those questions. So yes, it is someone playing this week. Hence me making fun of Stevie G again. I think you did it the last time, and I laughed pretty hard at it too. I do miss, where's Farcanel on Mordor? Must have lost his service. Kucha? No. Keith Mitchell? No. Keith Mitchell also, I think, is one of the few guys that is a winner in the top 10, is a loser in the top 10 market, but a winner in the top 20. Quite significantly more. I'll pull up Keith quickly here and make sure. So it's not Keith Mitchell, it's not Matt Kuchar, it's not Tom Hoagie, it's not Tom Kim, it's not Ludwig. Those of you that have fired one off already, fire off another one. I'm okay with you giving a second go at this. So, who has won us the most money in the top 10 market? I mentioned him in the betting segment at the beginning of the show. In fact, we may have bet him top 10 because he's won that much money in the top 10 market. Not Silverman. No. Not Rico Hoey. Nope, not Rico Hoey. Rico Hoey reminds me of Leroy Jenkins. For some weird-ass reason, that's what I think of when I think of Rico. It's like Leroy Jenkins just coming out of left field, going. That's what Rico does. His ball strikes the crap out of it, out of nowhere, plays great golf, and then misses the cut for like 3 consecutive tournaments. So, guys, rewind. Go back and just see where it says T10. We bet this guy. I think we bet like 2 people top 10. So it's a 50% chance. It is not Spawn. It is not Ben Griffin. I took notes. It's Penrith, baby. DFS Jeff in the house again. So well done, brother. I think, did you not win earlier already? I think. Either way. Congratulations to you. There he is. $277 at the top of the market for a top 10 for Taylor Penrith. We have bet him already at a top 10. So, yeah. But you know what? Phil, are you on X? I think I've already sent DFS Jeff already won, I think, the previous one. So, DFS Jeff, you can nominate someone in the chat who wants the model to be sent to them since you are already a winner. We are a loving community over here on Back 9 Bets on Mayo Media Network, brought to you by rotoballer.com. Use code MANIAC for 10% off your premium stuff to get everything that you're watching on the stream right now at your fingertips so that you can manipulate the data however you want for yourself. Okie dokie. Beautiful. So DFS Jeff, nominate someone in the chat and we'll send it to them. I might just do Phil Lower. He seemed like he just seemed like it hurt the most for him not to get McNeely, you know. So maybe it will just be Phil. If Phil is even on X, I don't know. Beautiful. All right, Phil, are you on X? If you are, DM me. I will send you the model because that's what we do over here. All right, so back to some comments. Did we have anybody else? I think that's it for us. Fishburne, first round leader, easy peasy. Ooh, let's take a look. Patty Fishburne. Oh, by the way, I was very interested in his top 10 market, which he's been profitable in this year, by the way. He only does it about 18% of the time, but every time he's inside the top 20, he's inside the top 10, is old Fishman. And we've got a 3M 6th place. We've got a 40net 3rd place, and nothing better than a 48th outside of that for the last 10 calendar events. Patrick Fishburne is a 3rd round leader kind of guy. If he makes the weekend, boy, oh boy, does he thrive on a round 3. But maybe a round 1 is also on the cards for him. You never know. But I can't say I'm as thrilled about him as I was the others that we spoke about. So, yeah, Philly, hit me up with a message on the X there so I can make sure I get it to you. All right, folks. I appreciate you all for tuning in to Back 9 Bets, episode 150. 115 episodes. Can you freaking believe it? Mini Maniac on the way in December. Perfect time to kind of get away from the world, relax, love up on that bad boy, and off we're going to go. So I can't wait to be a dad. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful time doing your best at whatever you do. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you always popping in here. Make a good guy in the comments. I really appreciate you and everybody else in the chats. Cherry Bomb Blondes, may they go down smoother than ever. May you have a great week at the Shriners this week. Go find Spencer Aguiar. He is a good-looking Vegas individual, a lot taller than you'd expect. Looking at him on the shows, he really hunches down on his chair. He's about my height, but about half my weight. And he'll buy you a beer on me. If you say the Model Maniac sent you, go find Spencer at TPC Summerlin and he'll take care of you. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Hit the like button. We'll catch you next week. Or if there is even, we will be back for whatever the next tournament is. I don't know if there's one next week. If there is, we'll be here. Catch you there, 7 Eastern. If not, peace till next time, friends. Love you all.